Are we all live? Okay. Okay. Back again. All right, guys. Apologies for the the technical difficulties again. I don't know what the hell was going on. People were dropping out, and then of course, someone said there was technical, and I didn't see it until now. Uh, it's weird, indeed. Uh, just weird. Just very, very weird. Let me make sure people can everybody hear me. That's the first thing. Let's look at that. Okay, people can hear. I need a thumbs up. I hope. All right, we got a thumbs. I need the thumbs up. Come on, come on, give me the thumbs up because all right. Hey, comic guy JP J9, what's good? Uh, all right, Quentin. Okay, good. Back again. I apologize for the whatever technical difficulties that were going on in that first stream. So that sucked. Uh, I kind of maybe I shouldn't have put it in slow mo. I just don't want to miss people's questions. So I don't know what it was. Again, apologies again. But yeah, like I said before, guys, if you haven't been here, like I said before, I'm technically still in mourning. As you can see, I'm wearing all black. I mean, I'm not even joking when I say all black. I'm dead serious. Look, all black, black pants, even black t-shirts underneath. Like the only thing that's not black on me is my sneakers. Outside of that, I'm in black. Uh, we lost again. We lost a lot of legends, and if you are in the same category as me, meaning all three, if you're a wrestling fan, we lost Terry Funk. We lost Bray Wyatt. If you are a game show fan, we lost the great Bob Barker. Died in 99, almost made it to 100. And for geeks, we lost Arlene Sorkin, aka the Harley Quinn herself. Yes, the original voice actress for Harley Quinn. I know there's a lot of people that think Tara Strong is the original voice. She always no, she wasn't. She wasn't. Uh, Paul Dini, who created Harley for Batman the animated series, was inspired by Miss Sorkin. And there's all sources where you could see her acting, her performance, and they knew each other for a long time. So yeah, but yeah, I'm still here to answer your questions. Like I said, for everybody who's new coming in, again, we're going. I'm back to just doing one Q&A a month. At the end of the month, it seemed to go better. I noticed it was always better when I did that. And if I do think about doing anything, a new, another live stream to be something else. Maybe I'll do, just maybe I'll do theme a theme Q&A for so I'll do the regular and I'll do a theme, maybe just looking at it. But like I said before, guys, apologize for that. I don't know what the hell happened. Everything seemed to have gone well, and I started seeing you guys just drop out of the out of the chat room. Everything. Uh, so yeah, I apologize. Let's see. Comic guy J990 says thumbs up or alpha. I would appreciate that. Thank you very much. I would appreciate that. So thank you. Uh, but yes, we're back, and I don't know what the hell was going on. So everybody said they can hear me. Everybody said so. That's good. I'm not. We're not. If this goes take three, I'm not doing it. I'm done. I'm just. I'm not. Uh. So, last question somebody asked me was, what do I think of Ahsoka leaving the order? I have not watched Ahsoka yet, so do not. I'm not going to watch it until the show ends. So don't ask me. So do not ask me about any. I like watching the show straight through, not waiting to the next episode. No, that's why I didn't watch. I don't watch. I don't like that. I like watching a show from. I do like binge watching a show. Uh, Someone said, "Rest in peace, Pee Wee." Yep, Pee Wee, but he died a couple of months, a month ago or so. But yes, it hurts. But this week was just, it was like one after another this week. It was just crazy. I saw it. I did answer that question, Caroline. I answered that question as well about the graphic novels. Bray Wyatt is devastated loss. I saw the man live. Well, Bill saw the man live. Okay, that's cool. I've seen him live too. I've seen him live. It's crazy to do the Firefly. I was at a live event in Madison Square Garden, right here in New York, and the whole Firefly thing, to witness that, to see that was crazy. Yeah. Uh, what an awful week. Yeah, it's just a really butthurt week. I did again answer. Yeah, yeah. You probably didn't hear it because everything dropped off. I said Kingdom Come, and that was. I saw Blue Beetle. It was a good movie. I still need to see Blue Beetle. I still need to see Turtles. Um, I haven't seen any movies as of late. Um, yep. So I do need to see that. Uh, who could play Simon Boz? I have no idea. I have really no idea who could play him. Not at all. I really don't. I'm not. I'm not even thinking about Simon Bars at all. Like, when it comes to Green Lantern, there's only one Lantern I'm thinking about, and it ain't Hal, and ain't John Stewart. If y'all know me, y'all know who it is. Uh, let's see what else we got. Comic guy. Uh, Thoughts on the new AC? Yes, the new Assassin's Creed. I like what I saw. I like what I saw. I like that it is taking it back to the uh, the Middle East. Altair took place during the Crusades, the original one. This one is you're in Baghdad. I like that. Um, I'm looking forward to it. It looks fun. I've always been an Assassin's Creed fan since day one. There's some I, you know, just didn't work out, but it had a big resurrection with the last couple of games. It really has, and those are good to know. But for me, outside of this one that's coming out, I'm looking forward to the Assassin's Creed that takes place in Japan. That one is really the one I'm looking for, because I've been saying for a long time, comic guy, that there should be Assassin's Creed in Japan. And to see when they finally acknowledged it, I was like, thank you. But I'm also looking forward to that Assassin's Creed to look like they may be going horror based with it. I'm like, okay, this is good. This is good. Keep reinventing yourself. That's good. It looks like it may be taking place maybe during the Salem witch trials. I don't know, but it looks good. It looks real good. After Wolverine, who should the Predator fight in Marvel next? It depends on how. I would say, if personally as me, I would do it off world. Maybe the Guardians. That'd be kind of cool. Uh, Is it Kyle? It is Kyle. It's the one. I won Assassin's Creed game in World War II. Uh, was that Assassin's Creed? Yeah, there was one that was World War II Russia, I believe. Yeah, it was more. It was yeah, it was. There was one. You look like a you do I like pumpkins? Uh, I'm not the biggest fan of pumpkin flavored things. Like I'll drink a pumpkin spice sometimes, but I don't like pumpkin pie. I really don't. I'm not a big pumpkin pie fan. I will take its older cousin, sweet potato pie over pumpkin pie any day. Um, uh, anything that got pumpkin in, it, I'm okay with it, but I'm just I don't eat it like that. What are your thoughts on Skull Island: Rise of Kong? Looks I haven't watched it yet, but I saw you talking about the animated series, right? Or or so. It would be awesome to see Captain America Predator crossover. Yeah, but I don't want to see. I know, understand. Yeah, Predator could keep coming to Earth. I get it, but Wolverine was the perfect choice for that because it makes sense. Uh, with Steve, I don't know. It's just I'm trying to look at it from a point of view. Pumpkin donuts are okay. I will eat a pumpkin donut from time. It depends if it's too iced. Because sometimes the pumpkin donuts that I have had, they put way too much of that pumpkin icing on it, and that just ruins the donut for me. Apple cider donuts are bomb, and there's a apple orchard not too far up, further upstate New York that I used to go to, and we used to pick the apples, and they used big, humongous apples. And you used to eat it right from the trees. It was sweet. It was good, and they make donuts as well. Good. There's a place not too far from here called Duck Donuts that I've gone to. They make some of the best donuts, um, in my opinion, that rivals your favorite donut spots. You know why? Because it's a it's not a franchise. It's more of a like a local donut area. So it's better than Dunkin's, Krispy Kreme. They don't start making your donuts until you order them. That's what separates them. So once you put in the order, then they make it. So when you get them, they're fresh. They're fresh. You can look it up. It's called Duck Donuts. Uh, it's in New York. It's two locations, and I think there's one in Jersey too. So, uh, what is your favorite Ben 10 alien? Big Chill. Big Chill. That's one of my favorite. Because he just talked so calmly. He was cool. Another one of my favorite alien, Chroma Stone. Yeah, Chroma Stone. That man could never take any damage. You look like you're hurting him, but you're not. You're just making him stronger. That's another one. And uh, I liked Humongousaur. He was cool. Um, but Big Chill was my favorite. He was definitely my favorite. Yeah. I was talking about the game. I have not seen that game, so yeah. Made to order stuff is great. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like any place where when you order it, they start making it. That's just perfect. If you don't get me wrong, like don't get me wrong, I will like I'm in New York, so there are pizza places everywhere. Like if a pizza's out, you know, here in New York, like they'll you say, "Yeah, can I get a slice?" The pizza's already made, and they just throw it back in the oven, they heat it up. But don't get me wrong, if I see them pulling out a new pie to display, and I'm gonna say, hey, can I get a slice from that new pie? They can't say no because it's my choice. I'm a paying customer, so yeah. Duck Donuts from North Carolina. I think there's one in North Carolina as well, but I know there's there up here in New York. There's one in Jersey. I think. Oh, they're near me too. Okay, yeah. What did they? Why did they have to? I think someone's asked me this too about why they rebooted Ben 10. I don't know, and I don't care. I didn't watch it. I didn't care for it. What would you want another DC Marvel crossover? No, I wouldn't want it unless they're gonna do it with respect and not as a dick measuring contest. That's the problem. So no, I would. Not at all. Let's see what else we have. What was your reaction when Ben in Ben 10 ultimately when Ben was willing to kill Kevin when Kevin became a villain again? I was okay. Ben 10 got real serious, and I was liking that. And then they started bringing it back to being more cartoonish later on, which I didn't like. Comic guy, did you like Miguel in Spider Verse? No, I didn't. I hated him in that. I hated Miguel at best. I hated Miguel. I hated that version of Spider Woman, Jessica Drew. I hated them all. I hated them. I was like, yeah, you dick. Like I hated them. I hated all of them. I'm not even joking. Like, I Jessica was just a blind loyalist that, and I hated that. Because when I was looking at that, I'm like, now if they'd have used the real Jessica Jones, the Jessica Drew, excuse me, she would have sided against Miguel like real quick. I hated that. I hated the concept of Spider-Man. A Spider-Man is destined to be have tragedy, and it's like, no, that's not Spider-Man. Like, that's just a hero. Heroes come from tragedy. It's not just Spider-Man. I hated that. I hated that. That was dumb. Favorite Stone Cold TV versus Rock match. They wrestled 3 times at WrestleMania, so all their WrestleMania matches have been great. They wrestled at another pay per view over in the UK called Insurrection, which was great. Um, every I don't have a I think my favorite between Stone Cold and Rock was probably WrestleMania 17. Um, because nobody saw that coming where Steve turned heel. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. Nobody wanted to hate Steve. Nobody wanted to boo Steve. And he did all his power he could to do that, try to make people hate him, but nobody could hate him. And that's the same thing. I think that's the issue now. That's what made that's the same thing with John Cena. You know, John Cena, nobody could hate Cena. Cena, they built him off as the ultimate baby face. Ultimate. So there was no way you could make him heel and work. I mean, yeah, when he started doing the thugonomics, and he was kind of tweening heel, but at the same time, he wasn't. And I know I know there's some points there's people were talking about changing Bianca Belair back to being uh heel because she was heel in NXT, but she's now in the same category as John Cena. It's the John Cena effect. She does so much outside of the ring, and there's so many little girls that are inspired by her. It'll be hard. Like, you can't. It'd be tough. It's like, when when Bailey turned heel for sure. It was made me wonder, like, how is her biggest fan Izzy gonna feel about that? They never showed that. But Izzy now is wrestling. She's actually wrestling, which is kind of cool. If they bring Ben 10 back, do you want the original story continued? I really don't care if they bring Ben 10 back. It's too late. In your opinion, had Ben killed Kevin when he became a villain again, how do you think their relationship with Gwen? It would be tough. It would have been tough. Um, yeah. Let's see. I Hunter Johnson. I have discovered a comic series from 1991 that was a adaptation of George Miller's Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, I have a comic adaptation I helped through Kickstarter. It's Night of the Living Dead. T-800 versus Universal Soldier. Don't bet against T-800. At the end of the day, Universal Soldier, they're still human. They ain't a robot. The Universal Soldier is still more somewhat mortal men. They can still be killed. That's a robot you're still dealing with. Who wins? I just said it. T-800. Word up. This is my favorite Ben 10 alien. Alien X, Big Chill, way big's fine, and Ultimate Alien X is just as powerful as it's just. I don't like it because it's just like there's this debate between it, like, oh, we'll do this and we'll do it's just it's kind of that's dumb. Like I don't like that. I was like, really? I remember when they first debuted Alien X, and then they did it, and then all of a sudden, for some reason now, when they did it again, then they got a debate on it. That's dumb. That's dumb and stupid. Sean Franklin, what up? Can we get another remake of Night of the Living Dead? No, we don't need another remake. The remake from '91 with uh, Tony Todd was perfect. They don't need no new one. They don't need no new one. Don't not everything needs to be remade. Honestly, they don't. You know what? You know what I feel about when they do I feel doing remake a remake of a film or something that may have went under the radar, or that's how I look at it. Like, for example, if they did a remake on a horror, more horror movies get remakes. Or if they did a movie on there was a remake. Like if they did a remake of, let's say, one of my favorite horror movies, Sleepaway Camp, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed because it wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be right. It wouldn't feel right. And when they did that for the first time in that first movie, when they did the first reveal, when they revealed that Angela was actually a boy the whole time, that was different back then. Now you do that now, it's not. That ain't gonna work. I'm not saying that you couldn't do a killer that is transgender or so. I'm not saying that at all, but it wouldn't work. But I wouldn't mind if um they did a remake of what's that movie? It's called Birthday, I think, where it's about these killer kids. Like these kids are they were born on the same day during an eclipse, and for some reason they're evil. They just kill people, and they it's just yeah. I would mind that, and Blumhouse do it too. I'm just saying, it's old school, like old school '80s horror. Do you think? What do you think makes Darth Sidious a great villain? Well, most of the Sith lords are just great in general, so it's never that. John Cena? You think John Cena he could play the Terminator? Anybody could be the Terminator, but at the end of the day, when you think about the T-800, who are you thinking about? Arnold. You're not thinking of. They've tried that. They've tried different versions, and look. Stop making Terminators. Should have ended with Terminator 2. The franchise is basically over the edge now. It's like it's living on borrowed time. There was no need to keep making them. 55 Days of Pekin should be remade. The boxing would be interesting if could we use. Yeah, that's the other way I look at remakes. Is like if the first movie was not that good, and you remake it to make it better. Yeah, that's fine. But when you already had great movies, I don't think you need to remake it. Like for example, Death Wish, Death Wish, and then they did the Death Wish with the late with Bruce Willis. No, I know he's dealing with his situation, but I don't think that was needed. Charles Bronson did a great job with that, so I didn't think he needed to. Um, Other like IP characters like Conan is different. That's different, but still, again, we look at Conan and we look at it's like when we think of Conan, who do we think of? Arnold. I saw the Momoa one, uh, and it wasn't bad. They tried to stay more true to what Robert E. Howard did in the original or older stories, but still, if I was, think about it, if Robert E. Howard was alive, he didn't commit suicide because I think, yeah, Robert E. Howard killed himself. Um, it would make me wonder what he would think of Arnold Conan versus Momoa's Conan. Um, I didn't like Momoa's Conan to some degree because he didn't fight well. It was like he's getting butt whooped. This is Conan. Like people fear this man. Like the Sumerian. He's supposed to, if you can go toe to toe with him, yeah, that's saying so. But you are not supposed to be beating him. You know, no, I didn't like that. Have there been cases where a remake of an original passed the original? Yes. I'm there. I would say yes, indeed. Um, there's some people that will argue and say the original Magnificent Seven is better than the remake that it comes from, which is Seven Samurai. I don't agree with that because it isn't. But and then they did another remake of the remake with Denzel and which I liked. I thought Denzel's version with Chris Pratt and all of them that was good. That was real good. I like that too. But I believe Scarface is a remake. Um, I will say to a slight degree, the remake of Night and the Living Dead is a lot better than the original. And here's the reason why. Is because there was more character development with the said characters. Um eh, but even the way it was shot, it was but still. Um yeah. What if Predator hunted Bed 10? That'd be kind of weird. It'd be weird, and I don't think he could kill. Ben got all them aliens. He could just chain in one of them. Yeah, as good as Predator is, he's not that good. Like he can be outclassed. That's why. Why do you think that's why they always in all the other movies they would upgrade him or make him different? Like the last one, I'm not talking about Prey. I'm talking about. And speaking of Prey, yeah, glad it's getting an actual Blu-ray release. I'm glad that's happening. It should have been out a long time ago. But the last one they did, the one that Shane Black, I think, directed, which was terrible. Look at that Predator. They upgraded him to the point where he's basically naked all the time. He's basically like a Luke Cage version of Predator. He was already armored. He just looked naked. It was just and at that time that was when they just started to just shove out, just put OG Brad Yalcha and just be like fuck you and just always kill that one off, like just showing You're lame now. You're yesterday's news. Well, you gotta show love to your original. You gotta show. Like, come on, man, stop. I would say yeah, Scarface. The '80s remake was classic. Tell me a little about Seven Samurai. Seven. If you ever seen Magnificent Seven, Seven Samurai is that's. You ever seen the original Magnificent Seven? That's Seven Samurai. The only difference is they're just doing it with samurais. That's all. And then they actually made an anime about it too, which was really good. Uh, but yeah, Seven Samurai, great black and white, classic, classic, classic from the '50s. This came out in the '50s, but it was so good. You could watch it on I think HBO Max has it. Uh, it's so good. Akira Kurowaza, I think was the director. Great movie. Um, it's it's basically seven samurai answer a request to protect the village from a warlord, from bandits, and seven samurai come together and protect the. Same thing with how they did in like Magnificent Seven. So that's why when people say Magnificent Seven is a original movie, no, it's not. It's Seven Samurai, Magnificent Seven, and then later they did the remake with Denzel Washington, which was good. I did like that. Um, and oh, and excuse me, and I forgot the anime Seven Samurai Seven. That's the anime. If you want to watch the anime, go ahead. Good, it's good too. Uh, but yes, so anybody tells you Magnificent Seven was the first movie, no, it's not. 1954 with Seven Samurai, which it came out in the United States 2 years later. Magnificent Seven came out 1960s. Then 2004 was Samurai Seven, and then 2016, I believe, was the remake of Magnificent Seven. Same director who directed Training Day and Equalizer and all that stuff. Uh, do you like it when classics are brought back to the big screen for anniversary? Yes, I do. I do like that, Warhawk. I do. I do that. I feel that is probably one of the most respectful things in cinema you could do is give that movie another shot and introduce a new set of people to it. I do like that. I like that a lot. Um, I really do. Uh, don't forget to like. Yes, comic guy. And yeah, I. That's thank you. You ain't got to do that. Uh, let me see. What's the next? What voices do you hear when you read a Conan comic? Arnold's. I hear his voice. I do. AEW has lacked discipline. You damn right. It should be. They should be called. It should be called All Elite Elementary School. It's like every second you're hearing something going on with these people, and a lot of it be stern. And what's one key element? Who's involved in it? CM Punk, and it's just like, good God, what the hell? Like Tony Khan needs to get his act together and be a leader and a boss, not trying to be everybody's friends. Stupid. I want an open world Predator game. Yeah, I doubt they'll do that. That's here's the problem with here's the problem with this game right here. As much as I love it, I love Dead by Daylight. It has made so many clones. A lot of games, horror IPs are using this format all the time, where you one player is the survivor, the other player plays as the horror icon. This latest Texas Chainsaw game, that's all it is. It's you're one of the victims, and the other team plays as the what are they? What was that family's name? I forget. Well, the family, and you try to chase down the people and get them away. That's my problem, and that's the same thing when they did that Predator game. What happened? It's just one somebody is the Predator, the other is the squad. Um, it happened with the Friday the 13th game, and I had that game, and I got bored of that game, and I don't know, maybe because I used to watch Dashi play it, and he made the game look fun, but it was too much downtime with that game, and I was like, yeah, I'm it's too much downtime with that game. Like you could be just walking around Camp Crystal, no problem, and until you hear shh shh shh, then you knew the person who's Jason is around. And the fact that he can teleport and move around, that was cool, but it was like it's too much downtime. You know, Dead by Daylight has done that. It and it's not saying that it's a bad thing, but it's there are too many with the horror IPs that they like. For example, like if I wanted to do like a horror IP game with like a horror icon like Michael Myers or somebody like that, I would want it to be more of an original story, but in the form of I would want Super Mastiff to do it. Those are the people that have given games like Until Dawn and all those other games. The kind of the storytelling games that would work with those IPs. You understand? Uh, and that's kind of the issue sometimes I have with these games, like the Predator game. It would be cool to see but then again, it's just like, okay, are you playing as the Predator, or are you playing as, that's the thing. Uh, the also on an unrelated note was a Magnificent Seven in WCW. I our a group of heels in 2000 could have been good as ventures or was gone, but sadly WC got bought out. A magnet. Was there a magnificent? I know the Horsemen. That's what I could think of, but I don't think there was a Magnificent Seven. Yeah, I don't think it was a Magnificent Seven. Let's see what else we have. What if Captain America was in the DC universe? Well, technically, he is. There is a Captain America like character in the 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 DC universe. He's called the Guardian. Yeah, there you go. And he's created by Joe Simon, same creator of co-creator of Cap Guardian. He's got a shield, everything. He looked just like Steve Rogers. Just he's just different. So yeah, but if you're talking about Steve Rogers, uh, it'd be it would be interesting to see him there, but I wouldn't want him there because Steve's better. His place is Marvel. It's not DC. Comic Guy, J999, excuse me, J990. Ready for Equalizer 3? Absolutely. I'm ready to see the finale of Denzel's character. This is the first time Denzel has done a trilogy. Uh, I love Denzel. Like I said, I live in and I'm from the town he's from too. So he does Mount Vernon, New York, very proudly. and he's not afraid to admit where he's from. That's what one thing I love about Denzel. He doesn't sugarcoat where he's from. He don't make up that he's. I'm from New York, but no, I'm from here. No, like some other celebrities I know will do that. He's proud of where he's from. So I love that, and I am looking forward to it. In the first movie, he dealt with the Russian mob, Russian mob. That was cool. And the second one, he dealt with his own unit that turned bad, and he made his own unit look like a bunch of lightweights. He just proved that, yeah, I was just the superior officer. Literally, he took them out, and I love that line where he says it. You all do bad things in this world. There are a lot of people that have done bad things in this world, and sometimes you make it right, but not today. Today, the only thing that's you killed my friend, and I'm gonna kill every one of you. The only thing I can only do it once, and then picked up his picked up uh, Pedro Pascal's kids who was in the movie because he was involved in it, and was just like smiling, like saying, "Yeah, you're dead." I love that line. That probably another one of my favorite scenes in Equalizer 2 is when he beat up the rich kids. I thoroughly love that. Just seeing him beat them, what they did to that girl. Like, came in there and he just like he made the excuse like, yeah, I'm the Lyft driver, but your card was declined, and guy gave him a black credit card, which is myth to say that got those cards have a limited credit on it. And he's like, yeah, you give yourself, pay for it and give yourself a nice tip. And I love what he says. He's like, yeah, wow, I heard about these, never seen one before. And he just said, yeah, tonight I'm gonna need your cell phones, everything you everything you recorded, what you did to that girl. And he just saw it coming. He knew it was coming. And this sucker guy, yeah, you knocked on the wrong door, pops, and he cut the dude with his own credit card. I loved it. I love it. Like, I love it. There was even one guy, he was coming out, he was just like, come on. He's like, come on. He just jabbed the shit out of him. I was like, yeah. I love that line. And get up. When he showed that the last guy to get up, he's like, get up, get up. Don't cry. Don't start crying now. Give me your phone. And now he's like, tell the truth about what happened here. Your daddy's money can't save you tonight. I love that. He said, give me your left hand. give me give me your left hand. And just took these two fingers and wow, I was loving it. That was great. Then he said, give me a five. Make sure I get a 5-star rated, Junior. That was funny. I love that. CM Punk. Yeah. When I read a comic about the Shadow, I imagined Alec Baldwin's voice. Well, I mean, there's not a lot of reference in terms of who can voice, because if you didn't listen to the Shadow radio show, like when our grandparents were kids, yeah, when Shadow was around since the early 30s, so and it was a radio show, the Shadow knows, and so Alec Baldwin was the only one that brought that character to life. And as much as I like the movie, I wish they would do a remake of that, because even Alec Baldwin's version was clearly not the authentic version of the Shadow. Like, yes, he can manipulate the mind, but they made it as if the whole iconic look of the Shadow was just made up. No, that's just how he looks. Lamont Cranston looks like he got a big nose and everything. He kind of looks like Humphrey Bogart. He always looked like that. It's not his make and things like that. I wish they did do a newer show. Do you like Tara Strong voice in Raven? I don't. I do not mind. Tara Strong could do anything. I don't care. I love Tara Strong. That, that woman is just. Have you ever seen what she looked like in person? Like, good God, you like it's hard to like that voice coming out of that good looking woman. It's just like, good God. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if you don't know what she looks like, if you ever seen Injustice, look at Black Canary. That's Tara Strong. That's all that is. That's her. That's Tara Strong. That's her model. They modeled Tara Strong after in Black Canary. Magnificent Seven and was a bigger Four Horsemen. Yeah, I vaguely remember it. I can't remember it. Yeah, it's just seven guys instead. Yeah, I can't vaguely remember them. There were a lot of factions in WCW. I just can't remember because everything was just around NWO. Everybody wanted to be there. Everybody wanted to be a part of that. Everybody wanted to be NWO because it was cool. But I mean, hell, they had like 56 guys, and it was like, what are they fighting? Who's fighting them really? That's how it was. Sting. It was only Sting, really. Uh, Marty Jannetty failure of career. He has not one to blame but himself. Yeah. Marty is. Yeah, yeah. Have you seen his Dark Side of the Ring? Oh my God! Like Marty, you talk about falling from grace. Marty Jannetty's one of them. Jesus Christ! Are you a big fan of Heavy D? Heavy D is from Mount Vernon. Of course I am. I love Heavy D. Uh, there's a there's a place not too far from me in front of a new building that was just built not too far from me. They built a memorial and a so-called memorial, and it just they say it's a memorial of Heavy D, but it ain't. To me, it ain't. I'm like, how is this a memorial of him for him? It just was weird. Booker T had brought up a good point on his podcast. CM Punk's problem is he expects all young wrestlers to respect him, but get that's not the case for everybody. Yeah, uh, Kawabina. If I butchered that, I apologize. I hate butchering people's names. I'll just call you KJ for short. Yeah, like I said, I don't hate Punk, but I think his ego is his biggest enemy. He thinks his shit don't stink. He thinks that he is on the same level as people like Stone Cold and The Rock, but he's not. A lot of his moves come from other people. The GGS, that ain't his move. That's Kenta. Kenta made that. He stole that move from Kenta. Like it's stuff like that. I'm happy that he came back, but then I'm like, it could be the same problems that he had in WWE, where he had to realize that he was not going to be the top dog. There was another guy over him that was just far more marketable in a sense. And at that point, yeah, it was all about marketing for WWE. John Cena was it. And say what you want about John Cena, but the man did his shit. But there's always going to be people say, "Oh, he couldn't wrestle. Oh, he never put anybody over. Oh, stop, stop." John Cena is a better Hogan than Hogan was. You want to talk about unpopular opinion, never putting anybody over really? Hulk Hogan. As much as I give him credit, yes, he embodied wrestling in the 80s, but at the same time, he was terrible at putting people over. And you don't buy that, go ask Undertaker. He'll tell you some stories. I want a new Green Lantern game in more be like Mass Effect. What characters do you want in the game? A Green Lantern game that's similar to like Mass Effect, where you make choices and stuff like that. That'd be interesting. Uh, Honestly, if they did it, I would be a game where you are a new recruit. You are a new recruit to the Lantern Corps, and you learn from all the other lanterns. That would be cool. I wouldn't want to be somebody. It'd be better. What is your most painful thing you've seen Denzel do to someone in Equalizer movies? Jesus. What? How? What's the most gruesome thing McCall did? Uh, One, he took a. I wish I had it. He took a like a shot glass. It was the first time we actually see him throw down after Yelena gets She gets beat up, and he came to he came with like $9,800 to give to her pimp to give her freedom. The Russian guy was basically, saying no, and then you Americans, you think you could buy everything, blah blah blah, and we just saw Robert. He's about to leave, but he's hesitated, like, because I always felt like Robert had a little bit of OCD, so he's just slamming the door. Think he was doing things that people with OCD would do, and I know that because I used to work with a lot of young adults that had OCD. Like if something was always moving something, always folding something. If I remember one kid, his name was uh, uh, Ishmael. He, every time we used to come in, he would always play with the knob, like click, 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 and Ishmael, okay, stop, go sit down, and he would go sit down, but he would click, click, he'd get back up, click, 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 and play with it. But there we saw him, and he hit his watch. And the first said 16 seconds, and then he's walking. All of a sudden, he's starting to see, and then he took the shotgun, he just shoved it in this guy's eye, and I'm like, oh, like, and then they showed the autopsy. This dude had his whole eye was just gone. It was like, oh, um, I remember the end where he was in the home where it was just probably the worst was it wasn't even the head shears that he just put through that guy's neck. To me, is the one where the guy was backing up and he had a drill right at the dude's head, and he just went, and it was like, oh. And when it comes to the sequel, what he did to one of his former men was he had like those them hook knives, like the talon, and he just cutting this dude up. I was like, oh, crazy. I'm looking forward to seeing what he may do to guys, because in this one he's not in America, he's in Italy now, and he's dealing with the mob, the mafia in this one. Uh, so and Dakota Fanning is in it, so they're gonna be the first time in 20 years that they worked together since Man on Fire. So all I hope is he just don't die. That's all. Let's see. Hold on. Sorry. Where we at? Okay. KJ, you can't walk in and expect them bending over for you just because you're a big star from another. No, you can't. You can't. But there's got to be a mutual respect, though. You got to respect what the new gen is trying to bring, and as a veteran, you should be helping them. Like, okay, let me show you. Even if they may not take your advice, but at least you're showing that, okay, yo, I'm here to help if you need it. It can't just be about you. And my issue with AEW in general, and God, don't let the AEW loyalists hear anything, because I can tell you right now, they will come at you. Their blind loyalty makes them dumb. The tribalism between AEW is ridiculous. The fact that you say any bad word about that company, they will hound you. And for all of them that do, and for all those people out there that act like that, go suck my, you know what? It's ridiculous. You act like a bunch of spoiled idiots. Stupid. But yes, he is ridiculous. I did listen to the radio show on Spotify. Oh, they have their old Shadow radio shows. Are cool. I have the Shadow volume from 2012. Oh, Dynamite. Yeah, Dynamite did good stuff. Martin Jannetty is the Lord, and like I don't. I mean, call Sean. Sean to help him. In 1999, they brought back the Shadow radio show on a. Oh, okay, cool. Hogan is a good promo, but IR he is yeah, he is. Like, I don't believe a word he says a lot of times when You hear him talk about. I'm like, you, that's a lie. Like what the what? Like you could understand why Randy Savage didn't like him. Like Cena's wrestling skills went down after his injury. Yeah, but he didn't have that many injuries. He's just older. He's 46 now and things like that. But Cena could wrestle. Don't get it twisted. And say what you want about what he cut that promo. Don't get one thing I also say about Cena can if you get a dialed in Cena on a promo, you're dead. You are dead. Because when he did that promo to Austin Theory, oh my God, everything that was tell me and I'll quote CM Punk. Tell me when he was telling a lie in anything he said with Austin Theory. He said it. He said, even if you beat me, you will lose. Look at Austin Theory now. Even after he won at WrestleMania against Cena, his reign as United States champ sucked. And I thank God they took that belt off him. It's like he sucked. And he was right. Cena was right. When Cena would dial in on Miz, Miz knew he was going to get eaten alive. And now again, Miz is getting eaten alive with LA Knight. LA Knight and say a damn thing. That promo he cut this week, I think, about Miz. Where was the lie? There was no lie in anything he said. And that is one thing about Miz. I don't care. It's like Miz lives off vicariously through his accomplishments he's done 12, 14 years ago. LA Knight said, yeah, you won the title, but nobody was talking about you because you were third wheel in that, which he was. All that was to set up The Rock and Cena. Nobody was talking about his reign. Miz, Miz gets eaten alive on the mic. Ain't and I can't get behind Miz in anything. I'm just like every time he tried to cut promos and he tried to get tough, I'm looking at him like this fool about to cry. I'm like, somebody get Terrence Howard in here. Like, come on. Like I just can't. I the only thing I will say is like, yeah, you did get the hot wife. Outside of that, whatever. Ryu versus Pickle would be what would who would win? That'd be interesting. It depends again. Pickle is no joke, you know. Like, and the fact that this dude eats you is ridiculous. Like, the fuck. Like, comic guy, best anime live action. Oh, the Roni Kenshin movies. They were the best. You want to talk about the best live action adaptation of an anime? The Roni Kenshin movies. They were done so good. I just watched the last movie again last night. The Roni Kenshin, the finale. They were done so well. So well. I love those movies. Those movies were great. No wrestling company is perfect. No wrestling company is perfect. Damn right. But you got to have good leadership. AEW does not have good leadership. Tony Khan is not a good leader. You remember the when if anybody remember the where CM Punk just went off on everybody, Tony Khan was sitting right there and did nothing. Ridiculous. Hunter, what would a fight between the Shadow and Jason Voorhees look like? I don't even want to think about that. That'd be weird. Do you love Muscle Man? We saved my mom. When do you love Muscle Man? When he says my mom, I love it. I do like Muscle Man. I like him. He's just a funny character to me. He knew who else likes my mom. Like it's just he just going crazy. Let us try, bro. I so agree. Yeah, I'm just saying, like Hogan wrestling skills in Japan was definitely there. In Japan, he was way different. But It's not about his wrestling skills. It's about his character. It's about him not wanting to put people over. His ego. That's his problem. He always wanted. He made sure you could see that throughout his entire career. Miz promo skills from Miz promo from Raw was crazy. This pro, yeah, okay, yeah. Miz don't. I don't know. By the way, I sent you multiverse a Patreon request. A name 13. Oh, okay, that's nice. He'll probably get to it when he does. That was one of the best I ever heard from him. I beg to differ. Miz don't. I I I can't get behind any promo Miz does. It don't. I can't because he's gonna get Miz. Miz is the gatekeeper to every new talent. The way he stays relevant is collaborating with other people, and that's he just needs to accept that. That's his job. Miz has won championships. How though? He's never won them clean. He's always won them with the money in the bank. And I hate the money in the bank. I hate that concept. I hate it because it turns good wrestlers into punks. I hate it though. And I tell you when I hated it the most was when Kane cashed in on Ray. I was like, are you fucking joking with me with that? Like, you telling me Kane, you can't beat Ray fresh. I hate the money in the bank concept. I hate it. I really do. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it. I hate that. I hate that thing so much. I really do. I wish it goes away, but people love seeing the cash-ins. It's ridiculous. Uh oh. I God. I'm sorry. Your name is in Russian. I know this dude too. He's a comes to do a lot. I don't want to butcher your name, but um, you're asking. I'm glad that Miz wasn't casted as Johnny Cage in a sequel. Yeah. I don't even like that they got. I don't see Carl Urban as Johnny Cage. Like I don't see that. I'm just Carl Urban. I'm like nah, I don't. And I didn't even like the last Mortal Kombat movie. I didn't like it, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna like this one. I prefer AEW to WWE, but yeah, they are not perfect. I watch them both. I'm a wrestling fan. I don't stick to one tribe, quote unquote. The tribalism is real. Anybody tells you that the tribalism between the wrestling companies aren't real, yeah, they're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. I am a wrestling fan. So I watch WWE. I watch AEW. I watch Impact. I'll watch some New Japan. I'll watch stuff like that. I don't just stick with one company. I've never been that way. Case in point from Hogan's Ego Stark. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I was saying this, and I don't care for him myself. I only like him in Real World. I remember him on Real World. Yeah, that's where we started to see his love for wrestling. I was like that. RVD wrestler. RVD wrestler won it. Won it. I love RVD. He's cool. What will Baki think of? What would Baki think of Jin? Mm, it depends on which Jin we're talking about at the time. I watch both too, but I have more fun watching AEW. I think what it is with AEW, the matches sometimes flow better, but there's no real direction sometimes for them. Like my issue sometimes with Tony is like he's got all this talent, but he don't know what to do with it, and some of them are not even being used. Like when I do, like how come we haven't finished the story between Keith Lee and Swerve? It's like, good God, come on. We haven't seen that. But like I will watch the hell out of a Darby Allen match. I will watch the hell out of an Orange Cassidy match. Uh, you know, I people that I've watched are on it, like Joe, Samoa Joe. I love Samoa Joe. I've watched him since TNA. You know, um, Keith Lee. I love. But they don't use him very much often. Um, Not the biggest Young Bucks fan. I give him respect, but it's hard now getting to watch the Hardys. I'm like, yeah, they both look broken down. I'm like, every time Jeff falls, I'm just like, oh, Jeff. Like, it's hard to watch them sometimes. Um, in terms of the females, they need to work on their women's division big time. Like, they really do. But I will watch the hell out of some Willow Nightingale. I love Willow Nightingale. God, I love that. Oh my God, she's gorgeous. I'm sorry, but but she can wrestle her ass off. I love her. But she should be getting more screen time. She should be doing more after winning the Owen thing, and she's not. And they need to get Athena on on AEW TV and not on Ring of Honor, because that's where everybody sees her now. It's like Athena's too damn good to just be on Ring of Honor. Baki's girlfriend. What about her? I am a big MJF fan. MJF is cool, uh, but some things like he he's gonna fall one of these days. It's just it is. Let's see. Do a muscle man a joke of Damian Wayne in your muscle man voice. You mean do muscle man do a joke Damian Wayne? I guess a joke about Damian Wayne. I'll say guess I could go like he's got his big head or something. Bro, Damian Wayne is a big head. His head is so big, it makes hold on, hold on. I had it and I lost it. Uh, his head is so big, it'll bust. It'll bust like a balloon. You know who else hates Damian Wayne? My mom. Sorry. Joe was great. Smojo over CM Punk. That was a classic feud. Yeah, those are great. Do you love a regular show episode or of Skip's story? Got episode made me sad. Yeah, I love regular show. Yeah, I just did Muscle Man. Everybody y'all always want me to do Muscle Man. I'm like, it's just funny. Who who most injured? Wait, who most injured prone? The most injury prone wrestler. Uh, that's hard. I'm not gonna do that. I won't do that. Muscle Man about Damian Wayne. You know who else has daddy issues? My mom. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My mom. Who's faster, Silver Surfer or the Flash? Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer. You talk about the Power Cosmic versus the Speed Force. Power Cosmic every day. Comic Guy. Who do you think needs to leave AEW? Oh boy. Uh, Miro. Uh, Miro needs to go, and um, Charlotte's husband. I'm forgetting his name. Andrade. He needs to go. He needs to go back to WWE. Uh, uh, Wardlow. They fucked over Wardlow 3 times. Oh my god. His Wardlow it boggles my mind with to see what they did. You give Warlow this big push after he power bombs the shit out of MJF. Who gets the bigger push? MJF. Warlow gets the TNT title, which has fallen from grace. That belt should not even be considered the second tier title anymore. That belongs to the second tier title for men in AEW is the international title, the title that we see Orange Cassidy and Warlow needs to go because he got it back. Then he lost it. Got and he lost again. It's just like, good God, and he says he's going through a depression now. I'm like, that's fucked up. Like that's just fucked up. Um, who else I can see leaving? I know Brian Pillman Jr. left. He's now with WWE. Um, and I would say Abaddon because what are they doing with her? They ain't doing nothing with her, and that's sad because she could be so marketable, but they're not doing anything with her. Those are a couple of people. Yeah, you still collect Blu-rays, Chris? Of course I do. You can see them over there. See them over there. Most of them. What's what boss unfair boss fight in a video game? Probably the what's his name in Metal Gear Revengeance. He was just unbelievable. I hated fighting that last character. Yelena Belova versus Anya Anna Williams in a fight. That'd be interesting. I'd like that. That'd be fun. I think I did that in Tekken versus Marvel like fight. I remember doing that. I always felt like Abaddon should join the House of Black. Yeah, I mean Abaddon when she first came, I thought she was that was just so creative. Like when she first came in, debuted, she fought Anna Jay. When Anna Jay at the time was just she looked like Zatanna, and she came out. Abaddon came out. She's crawling, and I'm like, what is that? And I was just like, yo, look at her makeup. The makeup was great, and and then you just started seeing her fight less, wrestle less and less and less. I follow her on her social medias because I like what she does and the weight loss because she went through a weight loss. She lost a lot of weight, and but it was great. I was like, I was happy for her, but it's like she's just staying home or just to collect the paycheck. I'm like, that's the issues that I have with with AEW. Like it's all this talent, and you're not doing anything with them. I get mad when they announce a new Green Lantern comic about Hal Jordan and John Stewart. I'm like, them again. Yeah, I don't say I get mad. I do. I get a little upset because it is like it's just rehashing. That is the issue. And I was telling somebody that that is the issue of having more than one human Green Lantern. You know, there's so many. It's like, oh, we can't do everyone. But so I always said like, okay, if you're gonna do it like this, DC, then okay, if you're gonna do a Justice League and a Green Lantern's on a team, you pick one. You pick a Green Lantern. Yes, that's where you're gonna find that Green Lantern on the Justice League book. You do Green Lantern solo title. You put a Green Lantern in there. That's how you do it. Like I love when they was doing. There was a Green Lantern in the Justice League, the Green Lantern solo book. Whoever was there, and then you had the Green Lantern Corps, which focused on the whole Corps. I like that. But yeah, it's like it goes back to Hal or John, who are just too overexposed. They made Warlow look like a joke. He exactly. It's ridiculous. Most S and K bosses are hard. Yep. Who is the worst boss, Benson or Mr. Krabs? Mr. Krabs. He's just about his money. Benson just is a workaholic. He needs to calm his ass down. Personally, I always found Doomsday to be a completely overrated villain for Superman Rogues Out. Again, sir, I don't want to butcher your name. Like I said, I wish I could read Russian. I believe that is. Uh, Correct me if you please give me your name. Let me know your name because I really want to acknowledge you. But yeah, I always look at Doomsday to say like you. Same thing. I don't care for Doomsday like that. You know, his main purpose was yeah. Oh, he's the guy that killed Superman. He's the guy that was able to kill Superman, but he died too. Like it's like that's it. You know, every time they want to bring, it's like they brought him back one time. DC brought him back, I think for like his anniversary, and I'm like, why'd y'all bring him back? And then Marvel did the Return of Onslaught, and I'm like, why'd you bring him back? Like it was stupid to me. So I get where you're coming from. Doomsday to me is just I know they always want to do Doomsday. I know they in the latest Superman card show they did Doomsday in that, and we saw him fighting. Uh, so I can't. Mr. Krabs, Warhawk. I disagree with WWE having Roman. Yes, when you look at it now, looking at it now, that was the biggest mistake. They could have taken the belt off of Roman and still done everything they're doing now without that title. WWE is in this whole record breaking road now. You know, Gunther is about to break Honky Tonk Man's record with the Intercontinental title. Good, because that's all Honky Tonk Man has is being able to say he held that title for so long. Okay, but with Roman Reigns, they're saying that he's passed Pedro Morales. So no, he hasn't. He hasn't really passed a lot of people's records because they're saying that the Universal title is the same belt that Bruno San Martino had all. No, it's not. No, it's not. So he's nowhere near them. And he's not gonna pass Bruno's record. Ain't no way. Ain't nobody passing that. Nobody. And as far as it's concerned, yes, Roman should have lost. He should have lost. Now when you look at it, it's just it's ridiculous. It's like, yeah, y'all should have took it off him. Carter or Mr. Burns, who is worse? I'm gonna go with Mr. Burns. Right, Smithers. Sorry. If Benson was my boss, I would throw him off like Mr. Incredible did to his boss. Benson. I could tell you right now. Benson would. I would tell Benson, let's step outside, and I'm just telling him, head or gut, because you're gonna get punched in one of them. Benson would not. I would sue Benson everything in terms of employment. Like for example, I remember when Benson. I remember when Rigby and Mordecai were on break, and he told them, "You're if you don't get back to them, you're fired." I'm like, no. As an employee, you are allowed a break. That's just, and you could sue somebody over that. Like you're entitled to a break. He was just doing some stuff that was just like, are you kidding me? Like that's why when I think Mordecai did hit him one time, I was like, and I think when it was when Rigby nearly he was in a hospital because he tried to do that egg challenge. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll knock Benson up the head. Mister Krabs is cool to a degree, but he just cares about his money. Kung Lao is my favorite Mortal Kombat character, but the way Mortal MK treats him is just awful. What do you think? What do you mean how they treat him? His arrogance is his biggest problem, and he's still arrogant now. Like even in this new timeline, he's still arrogant. Whose problem is that? That's his problem. That ain't no, 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 no. He needs to realize that he ain't number one when it comes to the Shaolin. That's Liu Kang. Well, not anymore. And even in the new timeline, he's not the chosen one. It's Raiden. It's like Kung Lao is an arrogant, and his arrogance is his biggest problem. Everybody says that to him. It's just ridiculous. When looking at the what they've done with some of the characters in Mortal Kombat 1, I love what they did. I love what they've done to Reptile, who in the past few games was a, was basically a joke of a character. He was like the henchman that you would just beat up every time. Him, Baraka, Shiva to a degree. So they did the DLC and they gave Shiva more character. And look at what they did with I love basically Reptile in this new universe is a mutant. He's a mutant. He's like he has the ability to turn human, and he's shunned by his people because of that. With Baraka, the Tarkakans are not people. They're not their own race. They're now that is a disease. So now you're giving him into the point of being more sympathetic to him, like and people are that are going through that. So I kind of like what they've done with this stuff. They've already announced that yes, the Scorpion that's in this, that's not Hanzo Hasashi, that's Kuai Liang. Once and Ed Boon didn't have to come out and say that. Once he said they were brothers, I was like, yeah, that's Kuai Liang. And it already looks like he may have to be the one to take over the he'd probably be the one, and I will not be surprised. Hear me out. I would not be surprised if in that story mode, in that story, well, he does the Scorpion has to take the leadership of the Lin Kuei from Bihan, and instead of keeping the Lin Kuei, he actually turns the Lin Kuei into the Shiryu. I have a feeling that may happen because they're trying to do things differently about this timeline. That's fine. Just saying. And it was nice to watch like 19 minutes of the story mode. We saw Shang Tsung and yeah, Kronika is back. So uh some villains are just one hit wonders. Yep. Which Green Lantern comics do you recommend? Rebirth. That was probably Jeff John's best work. Um, I will say when Kyle was the torchbearer when he rebuilt it. Also, will say Far Sector. That's really good with Sojourner. That's a good one. Bruno held that belt in different eras when long championships were more than the thing, right? And now, like I said, they're on this high on everybody breaking a record, and it's just some of the records, and they're not even really a record yet because it's not. Mordecai and Ruby are terrible employees. They're not. They're just lazy to a degree. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, um, Benson is a bad employer. He's hard on his like you. Once you start, yeah, you breaking them down like stupid. If Batman meets Benson, he probably will punch him. He probably. Um, I sh- I just read the Phantom Lantern with Simon and Jessica. That was good. Uh, Player Club fight was the most cited fight in history. Yeah, there was. She uh, beat the crap out of her. That was good. Mr. Krabs or Mr. Wick, Drew Carey show. Who's worse, and who you think? Who would you work for? I didn't watch a lot of Drew Carey shows, so I can't really say. I could probably tolerate crabs for a while. But, like I'll just hang out with SpongeBob. Like SpongeBob would not annoy me. Every day I come in, he'll just it's just like saying you're in a bad mood. SpongeBob will cheer you up. Like he'll just make you feel better about life, and I'm just like, I like that. I like people like I like being around people like that. Their opposition of life is just joy. And SpongeBob enjoys what he does. He may flip burgers, but he puts a lot of effort into making them Krabby Patties. Say what you want, but he does. SpongeBob will be employee of the year at any fast food restaurant real quick. He'd put everybody to shame because he takes his job very serious, but he does a good job with it. Say what you want. Oh, I ain't flipping no burgers, blah blah blah. But SpongeBob would do it. He just does it. I can't say the same for Squidward. Like I always look. I'm like, if this is the case in Squidward, why don't you leave? You don't like what you do, leave. It's funny. My brother was telling me about Kuai Liang. If he's Scorpion, then who's Noob Saibot? If Noob Saibot is in it, and Noob Saibot was Bihan, the original Sub Zero. Um, the question really is, where is Hanzo Hasashi in this universe? Where is he? Is he alive? Is he somebody new? Is he? That's what we really should be asking. I'm sick of Roman. I think a lot of people are a little tired. Cody could be the next Cena. Yeah, he could. Guy could talk. Yeah. People love him. That he is over like hotcakes. People get into as soon as he that whoa, which I love that song in general. But yeah, in terms of being marketable, yeah, I've watched the first chapter. Great stuff. But Smoke beating the heck out of old lady was too far. By the way, my name's Buck. Oh, Buck, like Bucky, Buck, Buck. Uh, yeah. I think they gender bend Bo Rai Chow, and so they made Bo Rai Chow a female in this. Yeah, I did see that, and I even told my brother, I was like, that went too far. I was like, God damn it, Smoke, what the hell? Like, I mean, he beat this one. He literally smacked her. I was like, I'm looking at it from just a point of me, how I was raised. You respect your elders. Like, I was like, oh, like, what are you doing? He literally cracked her face. I was like, the fuck. So yeah, I'm as glad to see Smoke back, but I was just like, that's fucked up. Which supervillain would you most afraid of running into? Supervillain? Doctor Doom. I I would not want to run into him. Doctor Doom, Carnage, Scarecrow. Yeah, those are a couple. I know if people think, oh, not Joker. Look, Joker. I'm not Joker. I poke that dude right in his eye. I kick him in his nuts. Like, fuck. That explains it. That explains. Yeah. How powerful is Pops from regular show? Uh, I mean, Pops can wrestle for sure. He can wrestle, but I don't know if he's powerful, all powerful. But I do like Pops. He's cool. Remember M.K. mishaps online? Yeah. Uh, Big Worm has a point. Friday. Yeah, Big Worm. Big Worm. Yeah. There's um there's a movie right there. I don't want another sequel to Friday because it wouldn't be the same with so many of the cast passed away. John Witherspoon is gone. Tiny Lester Jr. is gone. The actor I forget his name who played Ezel gone. You know, it wouldn't be the same if they did another one. It really wouldn't. Flashpoint Batman Owl. Wait, Flashpoint Batman versus Owl. Man, I might go Thomas Wayne. He's a little bit more brutal than even Owlman. I think even Owlman would be afraid of him. Even though Poison Ivy and Purple Man have similar hypnotic powers, and in my opinion, Kilgrave is more dangerous than Pamela. Look at what he did to Jessica Jones. It's not really hypnotics for Kilgrave because he's a mutant. That's just his mutant power. You just get in his vicinity, and it's just like that's it. Once he has you, that's it. Unless you're a strong-willed individual, yeah. What he did to Jessica Jones, I mean, go back and read Alias, and you see what he did to her and how long he had her under his control. And when Luke Cage found out about what he did to his wife, Luke beat the shit out of him. Like he beat the shit out of him. I was loving that. I love that when he broke. It was during the breakout, and Luke was on the island on the raft where all the villains broke out, and Kilgrave was there, Purple Man, and he tried to hypnotize. He tried to get Luke, and Luke, his anger just blocked. And as soon as Luke got, he just beat the shit out of Purple Man, fucked him up. I love Luke Cage, so it was great to see him do that. What will Bane think of Skips? I don't know. That's weird. That's weird to ask. Beon is on some need for power. BS. I must rule. Yeah, I mean, you could clearly see he is. I mean, they've been putting up some of the intro dialogues, and you just hear him like, "I will lead to control," and blah blah blah. And it's shown that at one point the Lin Kuei were um also in sovereign protectors of Earthrealm in this world, and it's just like he's and once they didn't need the Lin Kuei anymore, they just turned it up like mercs for hire, and just like yeah, I don't like that. Do you know about Grail, Darkseid's daughter? Yes, I do. Uh, I didn't like the 2004 Bane, the TV show, the Batman. Oh, you mean Red Hulk? That's all Bane was. He was Red Hulk. I wasn't a big fan of that version of it because it looked weird. He turned red, and I was just like, it looks like red. It looked like Red Hulk in a gimp suit. Just all. But I love the Batman. I thought the Batman was great. In general, I like that the villains fought back. They weren't all scared of Batman. Like they just Batman, run. No, they tried to fight him. I like villains that fight back. Like then there's like, oh no, and then run. No, I like that. So I love the Batman. I thought it was great. Yeah, Luke Cage beating the crap out of him was so satisfying. Shame it had to be stopped, but I get it. Luke is a hero. He's a better person than yeah. Luke. You know, Luke Cage is one of my top 10 favorite Marvel characters, heroes of all time. Um, and it was my dad's favorite character growing up when he was a kid. You know, my dad grew up with Luke Cage when he was a kid. You know, Luke Cage came out in 1973. My dad was 73. My do that. He was like 15 when Luke Cage came out. So yeah, his old guys that my dad grew up with was Luke Cage, Black Panther. He was a huge Thor fan. Um, and I got my love for comics from my pops. My pops got me into comics, and now because of him, you could see some comics in the back of me right there. I got boxes. Sorry, there, some over there, and there's more in that closet over my closet over there, all stacked in boxes. I'm a collector through and through. Uh, Comics kept my ass out of trouble, still do. Uh, I see myself in a lot of characters. Buck, Spider-Man in general, Peter. I see Peter Parker in me every day. Everything that Peter's gone through, I've gone through in my life. I'm like, yeah, I see that. I see a little Cap in me a lot because I'm the type that don't like if I see something going south, I'll try to help. Um, I see a little Wolverine in me because I'm small like Wolverine. I'm short. I'm the same height as Wolverine, 5'3". So I'm kind of stocky built like Wolverine, but not as buff as him. People are shocked when they see me, like, you're short, but man, you're stocky. Like, you look strong. That's most people say that about me when they see me in person. They're like, "Whoa, like, kind of strong looking." I'm like, it's just most short people are. We short. We're short, but we see the world a lot different than people who are tall. That's how I look at it. I don't envy tall people. I don't, because some of the, I hear people that are tall. My legs, my knees, my back hurts a lot. And I'm like, I don't envy that. I really don't, at all. Worst version of Bane from was from Batman and Robin. Oh, you mean the doofus? Bum, yeah, the doofus. He was just the big brute. Yeah, that was terrible. The movie butchered his character. Yeah, yeah, they did. I'm not even the biggest fan of Tom Hardy's version. I hated how he spoke. I hated how he talked. He wasn't Bane really. He's just a guy with a mask. He wasn't Bane. Like, I think when it comes to Bane, they leave out a lot of Bane, a lot of things that make Bane who he is. First of all, Bane is a hell of a tactician, and I didn't really see that even in Tom Hardy's version. Say what you want about how he broke the bat, he beat Batman, but it was a tactical move. I get it, but then there's a point in me that's like, you why don't you fight him head on? I'm always gonna stick to that. You didn't break him because he came back. My issue with what he did to Batman is Batman has no kind of qualms about falling on his back or somebody punch him in the back. Like, he should have some serious PTSD, hurting his back. Like, oh, I'm gonna fall this way now. You know, you don't. That's not good storytelling to me. Good storytelling would be, as good as Batman is, yeah, he still fears that. Like if he's falling, instead of trying to fall backward, now he see him kind of turn to his side to fall, and that'd be good storytelling. Like, I don't like that. I hate that they never bring that up. Uh but me Bane wrong. Yeah, B string. Great room, man. Yeah, I'm still fixing. I got a lot of stuff to fix with it, but I still want to put up all my wall, like all my posts that I got from like various conventions, like artist rendering. But yeah, I try. You can see like some statues, the stuff back there, like my Spider Man. There, that's my Bruce Lee. My Bruce Lee toy. Got Mega Man right there, and there's some more back there. And you can see Godzilla over there. He's over there. Monsters over there, and that was my Star Lord mask that I wore at Orlando MegaCon 2 years ago. Uh, who would I? Who do I want? Who do you cosplay the most? Spider Man. I cosplay Spider Man a lot. I this and the reason why I cosplay as Spider Man so much, not just because he's my favorite hero of all time, but he has just some cool costumes, and it's just like every one of them is just so cool. I still want to get the one of my favorite Spider-Man costumes is the Future Foundation costume. I love that costume. I love the black and white costume that Spider-Man. I love that costume. It's dope. It's just dope. Travis, did you see the Alabama boat fight? I heard about it. I read about it. It's stupid. The idiot should have known better, and the guy was doing his job, and these dumb stupid idiots, that's just dumb. It was stupid, and they got chaired in the face. Dumbasses, idiots. uh Shout out to the victims of Jacksonville. Yes. Yeah, it's getting I'm you get tired of seeing killings motivated by racism big time, and I hate it. I hate it a lot. Once again, it's just like, it's just ridiculous. It really is. It happened in Jacksonville. If Mordecai and Rigby joined the Green Lantern Corps, do you think they'd be kicked out? First of all, the ring has to choose you. So I don't think by far the rings would choose Mordecai or Rigby. There you go. Is Leatherhead an anti-hero? Are you talking about Leatherhead from Turtles? It depends on who's writing them, because he goes both ways to time. Who's worse, Kid Buu or Akuma, or with a black Air Force energy? What? I don't know what that is. Warhawk, I hope we get a proper new Marvel vs. Capcom game. I mean, I doubt it, but it could be nice. I would love a Marvel vs. Capcom, another one that is done better, more having more variety. Because again, Cap Marvel has stated many times we gave them the rights to use our over 5,000 characters category collage or category category of collage of characters, but in all the games they just focused on some their return too many returning characters, and then only a few new characters. Where's monster from where's monster from so Monster is my pet monster. That's the name of the was a toy from back in the 80s, Caroline, that because I'm an 80s brat, so I had that thing since 1987. So you do the math now, you'll get your. He was a toy. It was a stuffed animal for boys, like Teddy Ruxpin or My Buddy. My pet monster was that. He used to come with uh, he used to have like orange handcuffs. So yeah, it was cool. It was different, but I lost the handcuffs. But there was different versions of him. The what I have was the original. Then they had one that looked like a Viking, had a Viking helmet on, and it was all kind of cool stuff. It was fun. So, and then they made a cartoon about it too. Uh, in the movie, Bane is not Hispanic. Yes, Bane is Hispanic, and they never in any of the movies he's been Hispanic. Santa Prisca is only in the cartoons to a degree. He's been recognized as being Latin or Hispanic to a degree. Um, when they did the New Adventures of Batman, I did not like that look for him. He looked like a serious gimp. I hated him in that. But I did like when when Superman dressed up as Batman and Bane fought Superman. And the only thing I did not like about it was like he was able to punch Superman without hurting. I'm like, Bane could juice himself up as much as he wants. He's not going to hurt Superman. And that's, but I don't get me wrong. I did like the Superman, the animated series Superman, because it was more based off of John Byrne's Superman, where he was still super, but they wanted to give him more of human aspects, so certain things could hurt him, but it didn't kill him. But yeah, it was fine. Like there are times like he struggled with certain even heavy things where he shouldn't be, but you know, I love that Superman. Tim Daly is my favorite voice actor to voice Superman. I love Tim Daly as Superman, voicing Superman. I know there's a lot of people like George Newbar. I like him too. He's good, but when it comes to when I'm reading Superman, you want to know whose voice I hear? I hear Tim Daly's voice, not George Newberry. It's Newberry or it's one of them. I'm probably butchering it. Let's see. Warhawk Roma. A lot of things make me question humanity. You don't, yeah, I do. I'm scared to leave my house sometimes. I can agree with that sometimes, and doesn't care. And I know some people say, "Oh, but Chris, you're in New York. That shit don't happen in New York." Who says it doesn't happen in New York? Huh? It can happen anywhere. I don't like racism, and I don't have ever been in that category. Yeah, and I am not a big fan of Karens either. I have experienced Karens in my life, and Karens are just you you can't. It's just you look at what they do, and it's just like what's wrong with you? Like one of my friends had a Karen spit right on him one time and spit right in his face. And he told me he said he was online at Starbucks, and the lady, there's Karen got on, she just started complaining, saying this is how I didn't want my whatever was made like this, and she said, you better make me a new one, damn it, I pay your salary and all this shit. And then and next thing you know, um he kind of got offline and went up there. I was like, ma'am, like, calm down, like, what are you doing? And she's like, don't touch me, and she's like, get out of my face, and she just spat in his face. And I said, yo, I said, what did you do? He said, I couldn't believe, I was in shock. And people just saw me like I was in shock. Like he saw the spit just dripping off his face. And I was like, I said, did you? He said, I was just in shock. I said to him, I said, yo, Franklin, I said, I don't care who it is. You spit on me, I see red real quick. Don't spit on me. I do not spit on me. I will flip the fuck out real quick. I will go legit berserk on somebody. I don't care who you are. I've dealt with Karens too, but that's just ridiculous. So when I watch those Karen videos or react to them, people ask me to react to Karen videos. I sit there and I just shake my head like, this dumb woman, you know. And they know they wrong. They know they wrong. They just think they could just do it to be funny or whatever. It's just stupid. It's sad that those people have given the name Karen a bad rep now. And don't get it twisted. They're male Karens too. I've got what you call them, Kevins, I think. Stupid. Uh, I hate jerks. You're jerks. I'm glad Spider-Man 4 game kept Rhino's character as Russian. Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. Speaking Buck, I mean, yeah. Okay. Yes. Let's go to there. I think a lot of people who are true Spider-Man fans know Rhino is Russian. He's always been Russian since the day he debuted. Um, but over time, there are a lot of people that probably don't, and they when they think of Rhino, they probably think of Rhino from the '90s cartoon where he said he's from Jersey, where he spoke with a New Jersey accent. That's not Rhino. He even when they did the Spectacular Spider-Man, he was Russian. He just it's just more like he grew up in America, but his name was Alexi. He was Alexi, and you know he didn't like being called by his full name, and he even said only Mama calls me that. And I'm not saying that, but still, he was still Russian in that. Say what you want, yes. Even Paul Gandolfini played him in Amazing Spider-Man, and he was Russian there too. But he had the stereotypical Russian accent, which I don't like. I hate that. I hate that whole, like, they speak almost first person. You're Alexi scared of you, little boy. I'm like, I know for a fact they don't. Russians don't talk like that. I know that for a fact. Like, I hate that. I had Russian neighbors, and very nice, and that's another stereotype. They're cold hearted. They don't talk to. They don't smile. That's bullshit right there. I can tell you that too. So yeah, Rhino being Russian in the game was fun. I love that. Oh no, Rhino, a poacher. That's not funny. He said that cracks me up. I've seen great cosplay of that Rhino look at conventions. It's great. I mean Rhino's nationality. Yeah, no, I know what you meant. I know what you meant. His nationality. He's Russian. He's always been Russian. I would have called the police. I think my friend did. They he did. I think Marvel is making Spider Man a villain now. Hey, I don't stop. So, do you think do you think about Dark Avengers in general? I would love to see them in the MCU, but not under Norman Osborn leadership. He's supposed to be a Spider Man villain, not an Avenger. Um, they tried to give make Norman at that point in time tried to make him more of a Marvel villain than a just a Marvel a certain character's arch nemesis. They tried to give put that they tried to put Norman Osborn on the same status as Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom, you could say, oh, he's more of a Fantastic Four. No, he's a Marvel villain. He has gone into every level of character. Like he's mixed it up with Luke Cage. He's mixed it up with the X-Men. He's mixed it up with Captain America, the Avengers, all that stuff. Spider-Man. Hell, there was a great story where Spider-Man and Black Cat broke into the Latvian embassy because reason why is because they had an old spider tracer from Spider-Man that Doom was trying to he was going to use. He was still try to pinpoint it and try to figure out who Spider-Man was. So they broke into the embassy to get it back, which was really just showed you just how devious Doctor Doom and why he's my favorite Marvel villain of all time. Not just Marvel villain, just villain in general. I've said it before and I'll say it again. When they make him in, they bring him into the MCU, he better be like the Darth Vader of the MCU with a fucking badass theme song. Like he better have something like maybe you remember what's that I what was the name of that Generator Rex? Remember how Van Cleese had that badass theme? That's how Doctor Doom should have that. That was dope. I have Russian friends who are really nice. Yeah, that's what I say. It's a stereotype. Get it right. It is Craven is also a good villain. Craven is a good villain. Craven is my favorite Spider-Man villain. He's my favorite Spider-Man villain above Doc Ock and Norman Osborn. To me, he's the most deadliest of Spider-Man villains. And he has been able to branch out a little bit with other characters. I know he started becoming a Black Panther villain at mixing it with Black Panther too. So yeah. Do you think Muscle Man can beat Bane in armor? No. In the PS4 game, Rhino and Scorpion fighting each other was funny. Yeah, that was funny. When you get them to fight each other, that was fun. It's just Peter using his head. Like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna get these fools to beat up on each other. Yeah, you hear him talking about you, Rhino? He thinks you're stupid. You know, it's you know. Do you think Norman Osborn is a good combination of both DC villains like the Joker and uh, uh, Lex Luthor? Yeah, at that time, like what you're talking about, that time when the Dark Avengers and all that, when he was Iron Patriot, yeah, they were trying to put him on that level like Lex Luthor and everything, where he was leading Shield, but he turned Shield into Hammer, which and things like that. Yeah, so yeah, they were trying to pull him like that. Max Gargan is underrated. I want the Scorpion in the next Spider-Man movie. That's what I want. Um, I hope they do it with do Scorpion. I remember one comic book, Bane saved the little girl. Bane can go both ways. You know who did a good job writing Bane? Gail Simone in her Secret Six book. Did a great job. She gave Bane so much character. It was just like, wow, this is not the same Bane. It was great. Uh, let's see. So yes, that get your last questions out. We're gonna get ready to wrap this up. Let's see. What do you think about Scorpion being Venom? I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. He was probably the weakest host, and the Venom host didn't like him either. He would say it all the time. You're weak. Like get away from me. Um. So yeah, I didn't like it, Buck. Comic guy J990. Who is your favorite Superman villain? My favorite Superman villain has got to be Brainiac. I love Brainiac, and I want Brainiac so badly to come to the big screen, and they have never done it. They focus. You want to talk about overrating Zod? I can't. Zod is just. I'm done with Zod. Like it's like I can't take Zod anymore. It's like oh my god, like Zod again, Zod this, Zod that, Zod. There are other Superman villains that can work. Brainiac's one of them. After Brainiac would be Parasite. I love Parasite. Um, Number three would probably be Mr. Mixelplex. I actually like Mr. Mixelplex. It's funny. Uh, Based off of Simpsons characters, what about best one-off Simpson character? I don't know because I don't watch Simpsons like I used to, so I can't really say. I want to say Sideshow Bob, but he's not a one-off character. Do you like Daredevil new white look? Yes, I did. That was dope. When he was in hell, I thought that was cool. Hey Chris, hey Perry. I love Doctor Doom's tragic backstory. He just wanted his people not to suffer like his parents did. Yeah, but he crossed the line too. And yeah, so what makes him scary also is the fact that he's got brains and brawn, and he's got the diplomatic community where he could do the bad stuff but not be held responsible for it. That's one thing Stan Lee has always said. He had diplomatic immunity. It's like, could you imagine that? A villain that could go off and let's say bomb someplace and not be held for it because he's got diplomatic immunity. Sorry. Like, fuck out of here. Like, I would hate that. What fighting game should get an animated film or series? Rival Schools. I like Hank Scorpedo. Oh, okay. Have you watched Mutant? I know I have not watched. I haven't watched Blue Beetle. I haven't watched Ninja Turtles. I haven't watched the new Dracula. I haven't watched any of those. I gotta watch them. Do you think that DC Warner Bros. Should take notes from Ultron if Brainiac is to ever be adapted? I feel like they would, which I don't like. No, they better if they do Brainiac. Do not take advice from. Look at that version of Ultron. No, no, I didn't like. I don't like MCU version of Brainiac because he acted too much like Tony Stark, which he shouldn't be. I can't wait for the new Spider-Man game, the new DLC. Hope you can play as Venom. You're gonna be able to play as Venom. Some I guarantee that. Spider-Man. I mean, MK1 or Tekken H. Which game are you most excited? All of them. I'm a fighting game nut. Okay, all of them. I don't. Nah, it's not about one of them. It's if you are a fighting game, you. The fact that we have Street Fighter Six out, Mortal Kombat's coming out, and Tekken, three of the kings of fighting games, no pun intended, coming out. It's great. Once again, if you were to do a Mount Rushmore for fighting games, you would see Reeves head up there, you would see Scorpion's head up there, and you probably see Jin's head up there, representing Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and Tekken. And the reason why I put Scorpion up there is because he is probably the most recognizable Mortal Kombat character. You don't even have to play Mortal Kombat. You see that character, you know exactly who he is. But he is my favorite. In your opinion, what do you think makes the 80s stand out? What makes the 80s stand out is we had best cartoons, movies, music. It was easier to take a chance on things than it is now. The only era that could really understand what we children in the 80s went through is the children 90s brats. They understand it because with cartoons in general, 90s cartoons still kept the essence of what the 80s did. For example, I miss cartoons that got intros or shows that got intros in general. Intros got you hyped for said show. That got you amped up. Like, oh, this is, oh, okay. Go back, and you don't buy that. Go listen to. I can guarantee you go listen to the Thundercats TV show, cartoon. That intro. Now imagine you are a 5, 6 year old boy watching that show, and that dun 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 Thundercats, dun, 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 that beat, that rip start hitting, this was me as a kid. That was me bouncing up and down, and then as soon as you see Lionel doing his thunder, I was doing it too, like with him, thunder, and I was loving that, and it continued to a degree in the 90s. Yeah, I was a pre-abested teen back in the 90s, but still, I was still doing, like, when Gargoyles came on. Do you know how many times I was monologuing that intro with saying with Keith David and just and like when he would say things like uh now we're in Manhattan, the spell has been broken, and we live. I would flip out to "We Live Again," and I'm doing the same thing with him. I was all into those things, and they went on through the 90s and early 2000s, and then after that they stopped, and I hated that. I hated that. Only the 90s brats understand what we kids of the 80s went through. They get it more. They understand. And I start to see it now more and more on YouTube now. People who never maybe watched anything from the 80s reacting to cartoons from the 80s, and they're like, I can understand why, my brother who is older than me, who was born in the 80s, this was his era. I can and I Every time they say that, I say thank you. You understand. Now you understand. I do get pissed off and I get a little territorial when I start seeing people poke fun at my era, and I'm like, where you from? Like, what era are you from? Like, don't, get out of here. Like, just chill with that. Yeah, the fashion was weird a little bit. I won't disagree with that. But it was trial and error back in my era. It was easy to get something okayed more than now. Everything is so more about ratings. Shows were given opportunity to fail than just, oh, the ratings are going down after 5 episodes. Cancel. It was different back then. Once again, kids of the 90s understood that. They understand that. Um, say, Yujiro, I hope will be in. That would be cool to see Baki and them in, but I doubt it. I remember one issue of Dark Avengers comics where one soldier asked him if he could take a selfie with them, and I was like, never asked Doom that. You better not. You're stupid. Well, Warhawk, I think Hiachi can be in Tekken, maybe in a flashback, so people main him can. Yeah, he's dead. I ain't trying to see that. I'm a '90s kid, and that's all true. A lot. of what you '80s kids got, we got too. Yeah, it's that's the thing. Like they understand it, and I always feel bad for the kids of this era. They ain't got a lot, and they don't understand what it was like getting up early Saturday mornings, being amped, for watching Saturday morning cartoons when you're going to get the good stuff. Sitting there with a bowl of cereal, maybe it's big like this, pouring all the milk in and just sitting there and watching cartoons from 7 a.m. all the way to 12 o'clock in the afternoon. They won't understand that. They don't get it. They won't get it. You know, are there some good cartoons now? Yeah, don't get me wrong, there are some good, but there's so much more towards focus towards kids, but th- there are some great cartoons and for everybody. Like I just mentioned Gargoyles. Gargoyles, there are times Gargoyles still hits today in terms of just the storytelling and just the themes that they were going on. I just did a recent video where one of my patrons asked me to do my top favorite episodes of Gargoyles from each season. I broke it down. It was long, it was like an hour long video, but I broke it down. Each I did the first two seasons. And I one of the episodes on there was um Double Jeopardy, where Elisa got shot. They showed that shit. They literally showed that. Now you can't see it on Disney Plus. Now they'll cut that. They'll bleep it out. Like they'll edit it. But when it first aired, when Broadway picked up her gun and was messing around with it, and it just went boom, and you didn't hear none because Elisa was cooking a steak, and she was cooking a steak, and next thing you know, it just went dead silent, and all bro was just like, "Sorry, I was playing with your gun, my fault." Silent. All you just heard was the steak sizzling, and when he peeped over the counter, Elisa was in a pool of her own blood. They showed that on afternoon. It was on the Disney afternoon when I first saw it. Y'all remember that block, the Disney afternoon? That was at 4:30 in the afternoon. They showed that on TV. It made you like this is a kid show, right? If you forgot sometime this was under Bona Vista, but it still was Disney. We forget that. That's how good that show was. That's why it's still good to this day. Why people revere it to this day. It is still one of Greg Wiseman's greatest creations. It still is. It's great. I think. Let's see. I love Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes theme. I know what band. I think Down Straight made their did a version of it, a cover of it. It's really good. Uh I love Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That really, if Jack Kirby was alive along with Stan Lee, they would like, yeah, this is our run. This is what we did. Because that's all Earth's Mightiest Heroes was. It was a combination of all the great Avengers stories from the comics, but done better than what happened, because there were two Avengers cartoons, and there was one in the early '90s called Avengers United We Stand, which was garbage. Okay, that Avengers cartoon has no place ever being considered Avengers. It was terrible. It was just terrible. It, you took the best of the Avengers and left them off. And in that show, it was Ant-Man leading the team. This is Hank Pym leading the team with Janet, Wanda, Hawkeye, Wonder Man, uh, and they brought in Vision and Falcon and Tigra, which I like Tigra. She was on there, and the actress who voiced her was the same actress that voiced Rogue from the '90s X-Men cartoon. And they didn't even really like. There was no real such thing as Pym particles there. Like they had armor. It just looked stupid. Hawkeye came off more like Wolverine. I'm like, that's not Hawkeye. Uh, they made Simon Wonder Man overly muscular than what he's supposed to be. Uh, Ultron was over the top in that. He used to be like, yeah, my vision. Like he just it's ridiculous. The trinity of the Avengers, Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man had left the team with no real excuse, no real, and they just guest starred on episodes. It's terrible. It was a terrible show because it came on Fox, and if you want to watch it, I don't recommend it, but if you want to know what Chris is talking about, yeah, go look it up. And Fox. This was at a time when X-Men had just ended in '97. Fox wanted another big team series, and they were like, "Okay, let's do Avengers." No, it's terrible. It was terrible. So when they did Earth's Mightiest Hero, oh boy, that made me so happy. That was great. Everybody on that show was near spot like how they are in the comics. Yeah, Tony Stark in that Iron Man sounded like Robert Downey, but still, he was. It was great. It was just great. Shame they'll never have Scorpion in Smash Brothers. Maybe '80s music is good. I still listen to Survivor to this day. I love '80s. The '80s had some amazing cartoon intros. It's not just intros; the cartoons were great too. Like I can go down the list of the cartoons, man. Like excluding like the ones that everybody knows, your He-Mans, your Transformers, your G.I. Joe, your Ninja Turtles, but shows like Brave Star. Y'all know what Brave Star is? Y'all never heard of Brave Star. Brave Star, basically, the best way to describe Brave Star is you see how Nightwolf is in Mortal Kombat 11? That's Brave Star. Yep, that's Brave Star. He was he was a U.S. Marshal, but he was Native American, and it kind of had a futuristic vibe because they were on a different planet called New Texas, and he was Marshal Brave Star, and a Brave Star. It had like a real Western theme, and his he had the strength of the bear. He would summon the bear spirit, and you would see it, strength of the bear, and you see the bear spirit behind him, and he was strong. He had like the eyes of the hawk, and you could just see good. The speed of the puma, or the wolf, and things like that was great. And he had a partner. His horse was a horse that could turn into an anamorphic horse, and his name was 3030. And he had this big shotgun, and he pull out. He would just he, he would shoot it at people. It was great. It was good shit, man. That stuff was just fun to me. I love Brave Star. Uh, Hiachi is my favorite Tekken character, but I'm not sure he's actually gone. The man got thrown in a volcano. He's dead. He ain't coming back. He's dead. He's dead. He don't have the devil gene. He ain't coming back. He's dead. The man's dead. Kaputski, dead. The devil gene skipped his ass. He's dead. Basically claiming that he ain't worthy. He's dead. Maybe a flashback, but ain't in reality. He's dead. He's dead. Because that'd be stupid to bring him back. Y'all did that already. Y'all did that when y'all made I think it was Tekken 5 about Hihashi Mishima is dead. Then you find out he's alive. He got, instead of blowing up when all the jacks blew up, somehow he survived that explosion, got jettisoned out, and still he should have died on impact when he crashed into but he didn't. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. There's no bringing him back. Any plans on playing? Yes, I do want to play that RoboCop game. Do you like Mecha Warrior? Yeah, I do. I haven't seen it in a while. You know what's cool? You know what I'm shocked to see coming back? Armored Core. That was cool to see. What? It's been like 11 years since that game franchise was out. I remember Brave Star when you were talking about Lisa being shot. It reminded me of when the kid overdosed and they uh they showed it. I never got Brave Star's expression. Yeah, man. Like cartoons back then, they would play with that whole drugs are bad stuff. Like '90s did it too. I'll never forget. Um, Let me see when they really wanted to showcase like how addiction was. I remember they did that episode of Captain Planet where Linka got hooked on this drug called Bliss. She went back home to Russia to see her cousin, and he was hooked on this drug called Bliss, and it just made you like you didn't feel pain, but you would like zombified and he would it just like yeah I need more bliss and because it was verminous scum the rat that was giving him this drug and it was like heroin and they would just please and then Linka got hooked on it and she was trying to get Wheeler to take one and she's like come on Wheeler you like it like don't you think I'm beautiful and she was all just drugged out and he was just like what's wrong with you like and her cousin died because he bled to death because he got cut and it was just like oh my god that he OD'd he basically OD'd it was not funny I was like yo he's dead Jim yeah I'm dead. I was like I hope they make a new RoboCop movie I I don't I don't RoboCop's not needed they don't need to make one look I rewatched the 2014 remake it's not a bad movie it's not because they did a lot in that movie that the original did not do until later in the franchise. Like, here's what I love about the remake. It just didn't focus on Alex. It focused on what his family's going through. How do they feel to know that he's still out there, but basically he's not human anymore? His kid, like you just seen that stuff. That was great. I did like that he wasn't nearly invulnerable in the remake. Like when he would get shot, he'd feel it. He'd like, oh, and he would like instead in the original, it would just bounce off him. Like he was the tank. He was a fucking tank. Unless you had a bigger caliber of gun. So I did there were certain things about the remake that I liked. I didn't hate it, but RoboCop does not need to be remade. They If you want to keep telling, then tell stories through the comics like they've done, and or something like that. Don't do another movie. You don't need it. Uh, let's see what we got. Oh, yo, Robot Cop. Yeah, RoboCop. Yeah, that's what you said. Okay. I like how original Captain America beat the crap out of Red Skull Cap. And what's funny is that uh, Scroll was wearing his ultimate. Yeah, yeah, he was. That was fun. Uh, Original 616 will always be better than Grim 16. I hate Ultimate Cap. He's not he I hate him. I hate that. I don't like anything about the Ultimates. I hate the Ultimates. I hate what Casada and them did over there. I don't like the Ultimate Universe in general too much because to them it was like, oh, let's make them rough and tough, and I'm like, no, that's not needed. I don't care about what like Joe Casada always goes on record to say there's no way that this guy went through the darkest days of World War II with the shield and never killed anybody. I don't care if he did or not. So that gives you the point to just make the character a dumbass and almost a borderline racist. He's a Ultimate Cap is a borderline racist. Ain't nobody gonna tell me any different. The way he talks to Ultimate Falcon in that was ridiculous. The way he talked to I go read the Ultimate Falcon Captain America one shot, and the way he talks about he's like the reason why I'll always be better than the colored soldiers. I'm like, are you listening to this fucker? Like they were weak, they were this. I'm like, yo, I can't with this. I can't with this guy. And by the time they started to give him some character where he started feeling more like 616 had, it was too little too late. Get away from me with that. I can't. The only time I'll give him credit is what he did to Ultimate Hank in that. He beat him up after Hank slapped around Janet when he was Giant Man. Again, Millar and them took everything too far. Yes, Hank hit Janet in the 616 in the original universe. One time. One time. It was by accident. They took it to another level where he got big and was smacking her around. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? It's disgusting. Blob, a cannibal. I'm like, what the fuck? Hulk, a cannibal. Like, why do you got Hulk eating people? Like, what? Like, I can't stand the Ultimate. There's only certain things in the Ultimate that I like. The Ultimates are not one of them. I will never like that. Never. Worst Mortal Kombat character, Meat. Amazon is working on another RoboCop movie. Really? I thought it was a TV show. I think Sci-Fi Prime directive RoboCop movies are underrated. Now, yes, those movies are pretty good. I know the one that I know the one I love is the one where we find out that Alex wasn't the first. There was another RoboCop. I think he was a black guy, and he's still and we got to see Alex with his son who was older. Those were good. Those are very underrated. The TV show to a degree is somewhat overrated as well. All right. Speaking of comic continuity, some Terminator comics are good. Yes, they are. Will they have Nightwolf as a DLC in Mortal Kombat? I don't know. Man, in the High Castle is good. Uh, watch it if you have. Okay, I'll check it out. I'll add it to the list. I'll put it on the list. Like Cap. Will they ever make another Spawn animated series? I don't know. You know, they're never going to do anything because McFarlane won't let anybody else touch it. It's got to be done by him. That's the only reason why we haven't seen that new movie yet. You don't want nobody touching it but him. I get it, but it's just like, okay. Uh, hard disagree. Natara is worst character. I love vampires, but she's just boring, even as a playable. Me is too bad. Is it isn't too bad compared to her. I don't literally play with Natara, so I can't really say too much about her in general. You know, she only had what like one game, so but Meat just is weird. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, come on, man. I hope we never want see another Hitman movie. I don't know why Hitman is such an easy concept that they get it wrong all the time. I really do. Well, anyway, guys, we're gonna end it here. I appreciate everybody coming back through um, on this second take. Like I said, I apologize for that. Guys, I will be back next month with another. We'll do it again next month at the end of September. Yeah. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun to meet new people who came through, who I've never seen on the streams before. It was fun. What's coming up next on the channel? I got a lot of good stuff coming to the channel. Um, Got some. You guys wanted me to start reviewing some manga. Yeah, I got some manga reviews coming for you. I've been reading this manga, and I've been read about 4 volumes of it right now. If you never heard of it, it's got a anime coming out. It's called Kaiju Number 8. Damn good manga. So I'll be reading that. I'll be reviewing that soon. Uh, there's a Deadpool manga that I have. I'll review that as well because I remember putting it up on a poll, and I said, "Hey, you guys, besides comic reviews, would you like me to review manga?" And 96% of y'all said yeah. So I'm delivering on that. Uh, Outside of that, guys, you'll see what's coming to the channel. Just keep it tuned, keep the bell locked. I will see you guys next time. The other thing I know somebody was asking me, and I want to bring that up real quick before I go. Somebody asked me, "Are we going to see more gameplay, Chris, of more games like the Turtles game?" Yes, you will. I will be putting that up. I will be putting up new gameplays of other games. Will I stream some more games for you guys? Yes, I will. I'll pick a game that I'll stream on a certain day, and we'll take it from there. But yeah, uh, I know in October I will be streaming Five Nights and Freddy's for you guys. I'll replay those games in honor of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that's going to come out. I'll replay those because I have all the games, and I'll play it for y'all. Uh, and y'all see me get scared and stuff. So I'll let y'all know. But yeah, the rest of the Ninja Turtle game will be up. I'll start putting up those chapters and some other games and things like that. But yeah, just wanted to address that because everybody was asking, are we going to see any more game play? Because it was fun watching. They liked that. I told you guys I took down my gaming channel to just put games on there on here because my channel is a variety channel. It has a little bit of everything for everybody. But outside of that, guys, my pack. You take care. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you guys next time. Deuces.